Okay, let's get into this right here. The dog days of the NBA summer continues. Yep, there you have it. The dog days of the NBA summer continues. And what I mean is just a lot of stupid people doing stupid stuff, saying stupid stuff on social media. That's how it is, folks. You're not going to make any money telling the truth. You're not going to get any views on social media telling the truth. That ain't how this world works anymore. It's all about trigger and pissing people off, right? So this is what these people do. We heard Paul Pierce talk about he's the greatest scorer of all time, or just all this nonsense. Why? Because obviously Paul Pierce wants people to run to his channel after everybody else advertises what he said. This is what he does, Kevin Garnett does, Gilbert Arenas does. A lot of these fools do because they never got paid the money we were told. You guys, I mean, come on. At this point, it's becoming a joke. Either they never made the money we're told, or they're just slaves to the NBA that have people, keeping people thinking about the NBA, for better or worse. And that's what the LeBron James career has been, for better or worse. They don't care about the worst. They care about, as long as it's there, it's going to sell clips. It's going to get the NBA talked about. It's going to get advertisement. They don't care about the worst about the NBA. But yeah, these guys, it's just almost like it's coming the next day. It's coming the next hour. It's coming to you. Don't go anywhere. They're going to say something stupid because for them, it's about money. And I told you, it's because these guys never made the money we were told. Let's just say this. Right? If they did make the money we were told, right? And I just don't like to say these guys in this era never made the money we were told. I would say every era. Now I'm thinking every era never made the money we were told, and it was just about, business, entertainment. So they can overcharge the fans for parking, hot dogs, tickets, merch, whatever. If they did back in the past, to me, it would be warranted. It would be warranted. But it's kind of coming to me like they really didn't when I look at the overall picture. Nevertheless, whatever you want to believe, I'm just saying, let's say if these guys really made this kind of money. Now, I'm not trying to say they didn't make millions. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that the contract, I don't think they made all that money. And I'm not just talking about after they paid taxes and lawyers and, agents and all that stuff. No, I'm talking about the contract in general. I think it's just for entertainment. But again, I think they made millions. But what I'm trying to say is, let's just say they did make that kind of money, right? You would seem like they would be more appreciative to come out and try to uplift the NBA in a positive manner. But a lot of them don't do that. And I can't even see any of them really. A lot of these guys from the 2000s, the 210s, and now they have to podcast during the season just to make money, folks. Does that seem like people who make 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million a year, that they would dedicate their life to a podcast during the season? It would be mind-blowing to me to do it in the off season, because I want to be with my family. I want to take care of my finances, my business, my life, all this stuff. Chill. So that would just be head scratching, even if they did it in the off season. But the fact that they're doing it in the regular season, or during the regular season, during the season in general, I don't even know, like, what? You're podcasting during the season? And you're supposed to be making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million a year? So in turn, you have a shorter schedule as far as things that you have to do in your life, in a day, in a week, in a year, when you're playing during the regular season, or when you're playing during the season. I keep saying regular season. But now you're podcasting? So you're taking the time away from your family, away from your rest time, away from you practicing, away from, you being with your team, your personal life. For what? How much more money can you make? How much more money can you make if you're making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 million dollars a year. How much more money can you make that will make it even worth your time doing this? I just don't understand. And then I've came up with the thing, they're just all deep faking AI. Okay. Whatever. That's just what it is now. Your favorite YouTuber won't tell you that because it takes the fun out of what they're doing. And what I mean is, if LeBron James isn't there on a podcast with Steve Nash, JJ Redick, Kevin Durant, all these people, or his podcast is just a deepfake AI, period. And they know that, and every YouTuber should know that, it takes the fun out of it. Because it's not him. So they're not going to tell you that, right? They want to make money. But that's what they do. And then you can come to the conclusion, well, that's easy money. Because you're not really working. All you're doing is an AI deepfake podcast. So I guess, but I'm just saying, I guess. But again, you have to pay somebody. I mean, I know for them money isn't a thing, but I'm just saying you have to pay somebody to actually, do the programming and everything for the AI deepfake podcast. So I'm sure it's not nothing to them. They have millions. And again, I'm saying they make millions. I'm not trying to say they don't. I'm saying they don't make what we were told. If they did the things that they do later on, they won't do it. They won't have to go look for a job. They won't have to go work for ESPN. They won't have to go work coaching. They won't have to go do all this stuff. And it's guy after guy after guy after. It's just not, some of these guys have to get a job, real jobs after they retire from making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, hundreds of millions in a career. And they'll even tell you dumb stuff like these guys lost all the money. Not like it ain't possible, but a lot of these stories are fake and for entertainment purposes only. But I'm just saying, why not try to uplift the NBA, present, past, and the future on your podcast that you shouldn't even have to have? Like I said, you should be able to move on with your life and enjoy yourself. It's like these guys are prisoners of I don't know what. Because if I supposedly made all that kind of money, you would never see me again. You look at some of those bulls on the what they call No Bulls Tour. They have to say stupid stuff, man, to make money because they never made the money we were told. You look at all the stupid stuff Scottie Pippen said. You got to make money, folks. And I ain't trying to say people don't run out of money. That's not the case. But the fact that you can see these guys already doing it, and they're still playing in the NBA or just got out of the NBA. Look all these guys are jockeying to try to make money. Because they never made that type of money that was thrown in your face in their careers. So this is all you're going to keep hearing, a whole bunch. And a lot of this stuff is like recycled. It's starting to get boring, right? We've heard about, the Kobe thing and, they done destroyed Kobe inside and out. This was years ago. Now it's getting recycled again and again and again. And it's like a fucking Twilight Zone. Like, it's already been debunked. It's already a lie. It's been debunked so many times. This is what I always say. I'm going to tell you in a minute. We've heard all this stuff about Michael Jordan for the Jordan haters, but it just keeps getting recycled again. It's been debunked again and again and again. And it just keeps getting recycled. It just keeps coming. It's the same stuff. Because for them, they don't have to do any homework. The LeBron fans, I told you, this is their homework. 1-9. Jordan, Pippen saved Jordan. Didn't play any competition in the finals. Got past Magic, Bird, and Isaiah when they were old. So we done heard that so many times, but it just keeps coming around and keep coming back around after it gets debunked by extensive homework by the Jordan fans. It'll come back around. Because what happens is the LeBron fans, they don't have to do any homework. Only the Michael Jordan fans have to do homework to defend Michael Jordan. And that's what I was telling you guys the other day. I've lost all respect for these past players as men who don't stand up on their own 2 feet and defend themselves. The fact that LeBron James will have his camp, the Unclutched Sports, go out and attack all these great players from different eras, it's just crazy. You're literally been paying all the Yahoo, Gilbert Arenas, and the whole ESPN, the Fox, all these people to attack past eras. This is crazy. In past era, guys don't say nothing. That's why I lost respect for them. As players, no, they were all time great. But as men, I don't really have no respect for these guys: Oscar Robertson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan to an extent, and a lot of these players that's still alive: Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, and all these guys that's still alive, and they just had their character attacked, their their era attacked, and they don't say nothing. Yeah, the Karl Malones and all these guys, man. And some people might say, oh man, they don't have to say nothing. It's just like, man, you have all these people standing up for you and your era. And like I said before, we're not going against, we are sometimes, but we're not just going against this era or the LeBron fans. We're not just going against that. We're going against this era NBA. Some of these guys that played in the 2020s, some of these guys that played in the 2010s, and some of the guys that played in the 2000s. We're going against actual NBA players. This is crazy. It should be the NBA players who are being pissed in their eyes going against those NBA players that's talking shit about them. But like I said, I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe they got a muzzle on their mouth. They're not allowed to say nothing, because it'll have the NBA looking even worse. I don't know. But, I never listen to Dreamers Pro or watch his channel. He's a Disney, Fox, ESPN informant, right? We all get that. We all know he promotes their network 24/7 because he works for them. But he came up on my feed, and usually I don't click on there because it's half the time it's nothing. It's just like clickbait or whatever like that. So say something about Luka Doncic playing with Joker. So I'm thinking this is about to happen. I thought this is on the wire, because he always gets a lot of the stories first because he works for ESPN. But so I'm thinking, okay, I click on there and it's Gilbert Arenas in his channel talking about this might happen, not this season, but the season after. And I think it could happen halfway during the season. And this is why people are saying LeBron James might ask for a trade in the middle of the season, because that might line up with Joker getting traded to the Lakers. But they were pretty much saying, not this season coming up, but the next season guaranteed when there's more room. But it could happen, halfway through the season at the trade deadline. Okay. But I thought it was something real. You remember? It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy to watch this era. Like, there's no greatness in this era. If you think SGA is about to win another championship, you must be out of your mind. As long as LeBron James still playing in the 2020s, nobody is allowed to win another championship. Nobody. All you're going to see is these fake injuries and, players throwing games, all this stuff. When's the last time you consistently, like 2-3 years in a row, or 2 out of 3 years, 2 out of 4 years, a number one playing a number one, or a number one playing a number two? Not never. This is what you got, folks. This era don't want to compete. And you got a whole, why would they want to compete? They're podcasting. They're podcasting. I've seen some images that were comparing Durant and Wemby. They say Wemby is the next Durant. I wouldn't disagree with that. a weak rebounder, a weak defender, and people might say, "Oh, Wemby's a good defender." Yeah, he's a good defender. Now let's see what happens later on down the road as he starts to soak into the league, and he's still, shooting all these threes. Let's see how much he really defends. See if he's going to be able to keep that, defensive effort up. But These are the NBA, the NBA is so dysfunctional, man, in the 2020s. If they want to get it really popping, they should get it popping. Let somebody play with Luka Doncic, that's good, a Joker. Let somebody good play with, Hall of Fame or whatever like that. Play with Wemby. Let a future Hall of Famer play with Greek Freak. Not that money stealing. What's his name? Name Time, Money Time. That's all stealing money. But it's not going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen. This is when they talk about parody in this era. This ain't parody. These guys don't even go out and compete. When we talk about the 70s and it was parody, dudes weren't sitting around getting injured all the time and not competing and playing hot potato on the 3-point line. No, you just had a lot of. Man, I was trying to look for something. You just had a lot of teams with a lot of good players in the 70s. Today, it ain't no parity. Guys don't play. Everybody's getting hurt. They don't play no defense. They flop and they carry and they travel and all this stuff. It's like, that's not parity. It's not parity. Teams that are supposed to be going to the finals get beat by fours and, all these injuries happening during the playoffs. It's just like, what is this? They don't care. They don't care. Like I said, the actions of these guys they're not spoken to me. It's not speaking to me as people and athletes who make that kind of money, we've been told. You know what I'm saying? A league going down the drain, but their money is skyrocketing high as can be. Does that make any sense? So if you're making all that money, record-breaking contracts like we never seen before, your duty will be trying to uplift the NBA and take it back to the higher standard. We don't want traveling. We don't want carrying. We want you to officiate the games. We want real head coaches. We want to play defense. We want competitive nature. We want to stop degrading past players and past errors and all. I'm just saying, these are the things that you would think if these players are making this kind of money, they would want to do. Because those type of things will keep the fan base coming back and keep your viewership up. The things that they're doing is scaring the fans away and keeping the viewership low. It's getting even lower. So this is the only field I know, the NBA, only workplace where a company could be tanking and going down, and they keep paying their employees record-breaking contracts for their performances. That's hurting the company. Their performance. I ain't gonna put it solely on them because the NBA as a whole is responsible for what they want in their league. So obviously the NBA don't want defense. They don't want carrying and travel being called. They want these players podcasting, these players wearing purses to work, acting feminine. What did I say? No defense in a 3-point contest. So you can't solely put it on these players. Because the NBA is a workplace. But, if I'm an all-time great player, like LeBron James, or Kevin Durant, or Curry, when I look at Michael Jordan, like I told, Michael Jordan's going to be like, no, I want you to call carry, travel, palming, this stuff on me. Offensive foul, whatever. Because if you don't call it on me, you can't call it on Hakeem, Barkley, Magic Johnson. You can't call these things on them if you don't call it on me. See, LeBron James didn't say that. He said, don't call it on me. So eventually they couldn't call it on nobody in the league. So eventually this is what you got, folks. Everything how it is stems from him. And now the NBA is basically a comedy show. Just for laughs. That's what a lot of people don't understand. LeBron James, after he failed in Cleveland the first time, he basically became a businessman. He became a businessman when he started this Clutch Sports, Unclutch. And he said, if I can't win like Kobe, Jordan, Bird, Magic, all these great players, or do it right, it ain't just about winning championships, or do it right, I'm going to make a mockery out of it. And I'm going to make it just about business. Right? So I'm going to just paid my way to the top. That's what he basically did. He paid his way to the top. Paid ESPN, Fox, and everybody who will vouch for him. In the meantime, he's doing business deals with Miami, Cleveland, the Lakers. Let's bring in all this help and all these big names so we can charge big money to go to these games. So now they'll pay all this money for merch, parking, popcorn, alcohol, tickets, everything. It's a money business deal, man. I don't care. I don't care about what you think I'm joking. Why do you think this guy's still playing? Money. Why do you think his sons and his guy's supposed to have $1 billion, folks? Which is a joke. How does a loser make $1 billion? It's a joke. It's just some number they threw out, and value and all this stuff, and sources said he's invested in this and he's in fact all this source stuff is just bull crap to me. Who are the sources? They never say the sources. Oh, this guy's making $300 million for a 6-year contract. Sources tell. It's all bullshit. Why don't you just say the name? So yeah, the reason why he got his son in the league, money, folks. The guy became a bit. That's why he's respected as a businessman. He's not respected as an all-time great basketball player. He's basically respected as a businessman, right? Like most YouTubers that do NBA, they can't make the money unless they're saying LeBron James' name. This is a great. You can respect this guy as a great businessman. You talk about something else, you're probably going to get the views you want to make any money. You have to say LeBron James, and then you're going to get your views. So you got to respect the guy as a great businessman. People like to think this guy is dumb. He's not dumb. Him and Kobe were best friends. He's not dumb. He's playing. He's playing a character that you advertise him to be. And what you advertise him to be is what he told you. What he told you he wants to be through his actions. So let me, as much as people want to sit here and say, oh, LeBron said this, LeBron acts like this ain't LeBron James, folks. That's the character LeBron James on the world stage. You guys, it ain't one person from what I know that be talking about LeBron James. Know this guy. Know this guy. You don't know a person just because they speak out in public. Even if you saw this guy for 22 years, the stuff he does is basically a comedy show. It's just a comedy show to sell. And most of it's to piss people off, cause controversy, cause this and that. Bad pub is good pub. Not 1, not 2, not 3. It's a sales guy. LeBron James is a sales guy. You got to remember what the TV is. The TV is entertainment. Sales guy. I don't care about winning championships. So you got going to the NBA Finals. Who the hell watches the NBA Finals anymore? Nobody. He don't care about going to the NBA Finals no more. He get more pub out the NBA Finals. Nobody watches that garbage. Nothing to watch. Hot potato and a whole bunch of fake injuries. Throwing games. Only person wins in the regular season, well, in the basketball season anymore, is Vegas. NBA ain't about winning no champ. It's just NBA is pure entertainment anymore. There's no more greatness. There's no more greatness. So yeah, LeBron James is, to me, what I've studied from this guy. I mean, I can look at his career. It's a joke for him to even be talked about in the top 20. It's a joke. But because he's a great businessman, what he's doing, he's selling you. He's selling you a character. Why do you think they put together Clutch Sports? You think they just come out and just like blur out stuff? And no, all this is premeditated. What's going to happen, what he's going to say, what he's going to do, what should be said, everything. This is business, guys, over anything. It's like Paul Pierce when he said, oh, I'm the greatest scorer. It's business, guys. Money. They keeping LeBron James around in the NBA for this long because they could have told him to go a long time ago. But it's money. It's money. It's business. NBA ain't about winning no more. Nobody Tim Duncan was winning all these championships, and nobody cared. Nobody cared. You think it was good ratings when the Pistons won the NBA championship? Nope. Because you got to have a soap opera too, some type of soap opera with the winning. What's the soap opera? We watched the soap opera with Bird and Magic in the 80s. You watched the soap opera with Dr. J. He could never get over the hump, and then he finally did. That was a soap opera. But he didn't do it wrong. He was just a great player. Get over the hump in the NBA. We watched how great Kareem was in the 70s. But could only win one championship and missing the playoffs and, winning all them MVPs. I mean, that's a hell of a storyline. Just, can Kareem do it? No, he can't. And then Magic comes along. And Magic takes him to the promised land as a rookie. He does the things he does. Larry Bird comes in and just dominates. All the way into the mid-'80s. Just dominates. Statistically and winning championships as a player. The Great White Hope. We saw what Michael Jordan went through in the 80s and then the 90s, and these are great soap operas. It just ain't about winning championships. There's like a soap opera behind it. For Tim Duncan, it really wasn't a soap opera behind it. You could say, like, when we look at Shaq, it was like a soap opera behind it. Shaq was great, but damn, was he ever going to win? And then when we watched Kobe's soap opera, it was incredible. Bringing back gold in the FIBA and then the Olympics and then going to 3 straight finals after, Shaq shit on him. And winning back to back. I mean, these are great championship soap operas, folks. I mean, this I don't know what you want. You can look at the 60s, all that stuff that happened, and, Bill Russell winning a lot of game 7s, and it's crazy. Not just winning championships, winning game 7s, and it's just crazy. They had some great soap operas in the 70s too, with the Knicks and, the Celtics and the Lakers. And, it was just great soap operas as far as winning championships. LeBron James, his soap opera has been like winning championships, doing it the wrong way. His soap opera has been a failure. Nobody's impressed by his championship. Nobody's impressed. Because he was supposed to stay in Cleveland and win his championships. Hakeem didn't bounce. Look at that soap opera. Wow. Just crazy. I mean, beating Shaq and beating Ewing? I mean, in a back-to-back. And then the second one, Drexler, came over. I think they were, college buddies, right? They played at the same school. I mean, that's incredible. LeBron James has gave us a soap opera based on failing and doing it the wrong way. Wow. I mean, it was supposed to be eventually, when he cheated and did the wrong way, it's supposed to be a soap opera off of cheating and making it to the top off of doing it the wrong way and cheating. But it didn't happen like that. He cheated. He still failed. I mean, this is a soap opera he gave you. Cheating. There's like a lesson to the children. A guy who was supposed to do it the right way and do it the right way. It's almost like Kobe going to group up with like Wade and Bosh and say, "I'm done. I'm getting up out of West. This is too difficult." And I'm gonna play the West when I see him because I'm playing in the East now. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it's what we've been serenaded with since 2010-11. About doing it the wrong way. And then being, patted on the back. Doing it the wrong way and failing after doing it the wrong way and then being told this is all-time greatness. So how come Bird didn't do it? How come Magic didn't do it? How come Kareem didn't do it? How come Hakeem didn't do it? How come David Robinson didn't do it that way? How come Duncan didn't do it that way? How come Jordan didn't do it that way? How come, Charles Barkley didn't do it that way? And Kobe, it's just like, how do you get patted on the back when you did it the wrong way? Not once, not twice, but 3 times you built super teams. And I ain't even talking about the one in 21-22. I'm talking about the one in the 2020 bubble. That's a super team. Super team. He had the best center in the league, Anthony Davis. Yes, they're all out of their prime, LeBron James and Dwight Howard, but it's still a super team. You won. The big 3 Celtics in 2000s, that was a super team. They were out of their prime, but it still was a super team. It's almost like, if they built that super team, the 2000 Celtics, and they said, oh, no, instead of Ray Allen, we're going to go get LeBron James. So that's pretty much what they did with Anthony Davis. He got the best center in the damn league at the time. And to me, one of the greatest defensive players of all time, Dwight Howard. Same guy that stopped you from going to the finals. I mean, so what are we talking about here? So, like I said, LeBron James' career has been nothing but a business deal, a comedy show. And to me, he's just an actor. He's just been putting on an act. And nobody really even knows the real guy. Like I said, him and Kobe wouldn't be best friends if LeBron really was this type of dude. But LeBron, to me, he had to be this type of dude because he couldn't win like the other all-time greats. So he basically just made a mockery out of greatness to make money. And the NBA basically just went along with it. ESPN just went along with it. That's like me saying, okay, just because I see Michael Jordan talking, that's really how he is. Now, I'm not trying to say he would be like totally different, but I'm just saying this guy's actions is not something, this ain't like a standard that any all-time great player would uphold and wanted to be patted on the back for in any sport. Nobody has, you know what I'm saying, has went along with this and did anything, did the things that he has done, and continues to do. So to me, it's just a entertainment move by him. He's been putting on the act, entertaining, because he already knew once a couple of things happen, he know he wasn't going to never catch Michael Jordan or these all-time greats. So let's go ahead and do it the wrong way, pay off the media, and piss everybody off. Because imagine, okay, let's just say he did it the right way, right? He stayed in Cleveland. And we're going, he gets beat in 2010. Where do you go with the NBA after that, folks? Who's the face of the NBA? What does the NBA look like? Maybe, I don't know, maybe Duncan, wins one more. What's the future of the face of the NBA without LeBron James bringing all that entertainment, all that drama, all this, whatever? Because you already know he's going to keep failing if he stays in Cleveland. What is it? What does the NBA look like? Well, maybe the West just keeps winning. I'm not for sure. Maybe the big 3 Celtics go back to the finals. At any rate, for some reason, the NBA, y'all believe the NBA is a business, guys. And back then, when he went to build his super team, they do whatever they want. They're free agents. But I'm just saying, it's still a business. Kobe got pushed back, and he couldn't do it when he wanted to get Chris Paul. They stopped that trade. So I'm just saying, it's a business. I forgot what the hell I was even talking about. Something about LeBron James building that super. Oh yeah, it wasn't even any pushback from the owners, from the players, from the head coaches in the league. Where was the pushback about them coming together and building that super team? And just basically destroying the power in the East. See, they were supposed to compete against each other. It's like we always say Michael Jordan beat his peers. You know, always consider a year, somebody came in the draft a year before you, the same year or the year after. So he beat Barkley, he beat Malone, he beat Stockton, he beat somebody else too. Drexler. I forget the other name. But anyway, he basically beat his peers. LeBron James came in the draft, he played with his peers. So where was the pushback from the NBA owners, you know, the players, the commissioner, all this stuff back then, coaches in the NBA? Where was the pushback? So it seemed to me that they wanted this entertainment. It seemed to me that they felt like this is going to move their league for more entertainment than competitiveness. In that, you know, if this guy doesn't do this, he has no opportunity in the future to even win any championships. So pretty much they want this guy to be the face of the NBA. For better or for worse. And that's what it became, for better or worse. You know, sometimes people don't talk about the entertainment value. They always talk about stuff on the surface of what happened. There's moves being made behind closed doors, and, you know, these players just don't do what they want to do. Stuff is established through contracts and, you know, coming together, and they say, oh, this is how we won our league this year. This is what we're going to do this year in our league. So, you know, I guess Kobe had his time, because, you know, they blocked that Chris Paul trade. Kobe had his time. And this is what we got today, guys. I mean, we don't know what they're cooking up for the future. Who's going to be the class clown that's going to keep the NBA moving entertainment-wise? Because the ratings showed that people don't want to watch these guys on the court. And this started a long time ago. We talked about this in LeBron James in the finals in 2007, the lowest rating finals of all time. Back then it was. Nobody wanted to see that guy. He finally got to the pinnacle 5 years in. They talk about how this guy made it to the finals at 22, but nobody wanted to see this guy play. It's crazy. Remember, it wasn't the Detroit Pistons against the Spurs, or the Knicks against the Spurs, or the Nets against the Spurs. It became LeBron James against the Spurs, who had the lowest ratings of all time. Now, folks, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. The league already knew then. Not only that, this guy melted down. He didn't choke. He wasn't supposed to win, but this guy melted down. So the public already knew. Why even watch this guy? He ain't got no game. This is 5 years into the league, folks. How did he carry a bunch of nobodies to the finals with no game? We was chilling in 2007. Music was good. Movies was good. Pop culture was good. But nobody wanted to see this guy play. Because this guy had no skills. And I'm not trying to say, you know, this finals was... How did the plumbers that played Michael Jordan... How did the plumbers have better ratings with Michael Jordan 2 years in a row than LeBron James' first final, the king, the anointed one, the, you know, everything? The people didn't. They try to rewrite history about this guy. Nobody wanted to see this guy play. Nobody wanted to see this guy play. They didn't care. This is... And he didn't help it. Coming up to that point, he did not help his case, folks. First year, didn't make the playoffs, smoked in the Olympics. Second year, didn't make the playoffs with the all-star teammate. Third season, what was it? Third season, blew a 3-2 lead going back home. And I'm talking about melting down, not choking. He wasn't supposed to beat Detroit, but he choked. He was shooting horrible turnovers, can't shoot free throws, everything. Suddenly, after being in the playoffs one time, and choking down a 3-2 lead going back home, the next season, he's in the NBA Finals. So everybody's like, what the hell? How the hell did he get to the finals? And he was sorry. his first 3 years. I mean, like, so they already knew the weak competition he was playing, and they could see his game. He was just having a lot of bad games on the way to the finals. He just drive it to the basket, lay up, drive it to the basket. Yeah, he hit some shots here and there from the field, but it wasn't like he had no post game or nothing like that. He wasn't giving you no paint work. And it's just this mirage that, you know, they start painting for this guy. I probably was paying him back then. Hey, say I'm a Magic Johnson type of passer. All this crazy stuff. When everybody knows he ain't. If you're a scorer, you're a scorer. And that's what he was. A guy who took a lot of shots and scored. Because you pass the ball, that don't make you a Magic Johnson type of guy or a facilitator. You just always got the damn ball in your hand. But yeah, man, that was a big hit right there when this guy. Wow. Nobody wanted to see you play in the finals. And like I said, I ain't saying he had to have the best ratings of all time, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. But you're trying to tell me you had a worse finals ratings than the Detroit Pistons that played the Spurs, or the Nets that played the Spurs, or the who is it? The Knicks that played the Spurs without Ewing? Come on, man. But the people wasn't dumb back then. This is what we've been trying to tell you guys. Nobody wanted to see this guy play. It wasn't because of Tim Duncan. This guy was supposed to, okay, I'm playing Tim Duncan. Let me do what I can and put up big numbers to try to take down this dynasty, to show people I'm coming up in the rankings. And you know what I'm saying? Something like that. No, he pooped all over himself. It showed the whole damn world that he couldn't shoot. He ain't had no post game. He couldn't shoot from the perimeter. He couldn't shoot free throw. He showed the whole world. Talk about screwing the future of the NBA up, folks. Thank God Kobe was back in the finals the next season. Thank God Kobe brought home gold in the FIBA that summer when LeBron James bricked it up and lost and got swept in the damn finals. Thank God. And then Kobe showed up again in the finals the next season, brought home gold. These things. Thank God for Kobe. 2007, 2010, because LeBron James was fucking up the NBA, man. They invested so much in this guy, and he was fucking up. Not losing, melting down and choking everything. From 2007 to 2010, it was this guy basically destroyed the image of the NBA. In the fact that they put so much into this guy. That, you know, after Kobe, what he did, it was basically over. They couldn't do, okay, go build your super team. Bring us entertainment, but you can't bring us no high-level winning as a leader, as an all-time great player that has all-time great skills at free throw shooting, mid-range, three-point, facilitating, rebound. It's all smoke screens with this guy. I mean, the fact that what he did from 2007 to 2011, this guy should never even open his mouth. That stretch right there has to be the most embarrassing stretch in NBA history, period. And like I said, because he capped it off with building a super team and bragging and taunting the league, and then gets destroyed and melts down in the finals.